this is what I'm doing. It's kind of been like, what else can I push myself to do? I've been like that street artist, underground artist for a long time now, and I've built my way up to try get into the gallery. I want common folk like me to walk into a gallery and understand it. And it was literally just for like juvenile kids.
Yeah.
Like you're either out of prison or you're on your way to prison if you're at that school kind of thing. Do not need to be a fragile, broken, destroyed human being to be famous, successful in art or anything like that. I'm ready when you guys are.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You're good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Mencken and I'm joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray.
Hello, Frank.
And we are joined by a guest this week.
Oui.
I was going to go really in depth, but I didn't think it was worth it.
What do you mean? Go on.
No, it was
an insane intro.
Okay, hang on, wait.
Here we go.
Hang on.
Oh, what happened?
I'm not restarting, I'm just doing the intro again.
Okay.
Ready? You ready for this?
Am I?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Mencken and I'm joined by my beautiful, stunning, incredibly talented, and man of many worlds, Gabe.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And Joe's here too.
I was going to say, what?
I thought that was sitting
You're trying to figure out,
is
he's going to say my name, he's going to...
Nah, Joe's not getting
It's
it.
fine.
Welcome,
Thank
Gabe.
you very much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of
I'm
course.
keen to be on the Froe Show. I've done Sam's a few times, but this is the first time
Yeah.
I'm on the Froe Show. So.
It's a very different vibe. I hate this mic immediately. This sucks.
Yeah, I love how chunky
This
this
sucks.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't...
I'm not compensating for anything, bro.
No. No, welcome to the show. It's really good to have you. We've tried to have you on, I think, twice now, and it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, it's not molded.
It wasn't meant to be, but today is the day that we're finally doing it.
Of course.
You were convinced after seeing the live show. You were like, yep, you know what? These guys actually don't suck.
I
at
really
their
like
job.
that live show, not gonna lie. I'll be that kid at the back like yelling things out. But
Yeah.
I fucking really liked it. I've never seen a live podcast before, so
Neither had we.
yeah, it was a really interesting concept. And I like how you guys pull people out from the audience consistently
Yeah.
and stuff and kept it interesting. So
Well, you're a guest on the show now, so if you
Yeah.
show up at the next one,
audience,
that's
here.
it. You're screwed. It's over. Now, we were talking after the live show because that's kind of when I was like, yo, do you want to come on the show next week? And you said something to me that I thought was very interesting. You were like, look, I want you to ask the weirdest, most terrible questions. I don't remember exactly what your wording was, but it was something like that.
I just want interesting questions because it's like one of those things. Like I've done a few interviews now, a few podcasts, and it's all about art or like how you got started. But like, there's no crazy weird like I don't know how to explain it. I just want to be. I want to have like one of those weird interviews. So.
Like a
This
Robert
might be
Pattinson type interview where you talk about microwaving pasta.
Yeah, shit like that, random stuff. You know what I mean? Interesting things.
All right. Well, I was listening to Crambles the other day. Actually, really quickly, I'm going to give a quick intro. Gabe goes by Numpty in the art world. He creates the beautiful paintings that are behind us. That one's a collaboration with Sydney artist Dripty. That's a wall mural that is new. When did you paint that?
I painted that yesterday.
It's sick. I actually love it. If I could chip that off the wall, I'd take it.
Yeah. Well, it turned out to be like some boxing Gandhi dude, so I think I'm going to make it into like a little thing with Drip Tea. I think you'll see that.
Oh, yeah.
in
Sick.
a little while.
Yeah. But you're like a pop art kind of modern graffiti style. I don't know. You cover many.
Yeah, I think I've got my eggs in many baskets. But at the moment, I would say for like an umbrella category almost, I'd be like, it's like pop abstract art in a way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd say pop abstract. Yeah.
That's like the only way I could put it in. I'm not like super technical with styles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I would put it as.
Yeah.
Simplistic.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have? We're going to talk a little bit about art, and then we'll get into
that's
like
cool,
the deep
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about your come up in art because I think you've already talked about that enough in other podcasts. But
Thank you.
and we talked about that in our episode on Crambles as well.
Yeah, we did. We briefed on it.
Yeah, but I want to talk a little bit about like how your style came about more specifically, because we did cover that.
There's like
the current one.
the current one.
What you're currently working towards, because that's a very recent switch
It is a very
in the grand
switch.
scheme of things, at least.
It's a drastic switch as well.
Yeah.
It's went from like probably pop up to like real abstract kind of
Yeah.
figures and stuff. I don't know, man. Probably back in 2019, I done a painting from a dude who donated a canvas to me. And like back then I was always doing it on recycled materials, so it was like old wood or kind of like fiberglass, plasticky stuff. So when I got the canvas, it was like it was almost like an option to continue to do what I did on the canvases or make it more refined and beautiful in a way. I don't know how to explain that, but I'd done like this woman figure that I kind of always see in my dreams as like a guardian angel kind of thing. And I really liked how it worked with the charcoal and like the titanium white just kind of made it glow. And when you put a light on it, it kind of, the body shines rather than the canvas. So it just was a cool, different kind of concept completely to what I usually did. And from that moment on, I was always obsessed with that painting. Like I wanted that painting to do more, and it wasn't finished in my opinion. So it's kind of where these guys came from. One day I was like, alright, gonna get another canvas, gonna make it proper. And I don't know, it's become this thing now. As soon as I touch canvas, I have to do that kind of style where if I touch recycled material, I have to do my other styles. So it's like super separated worlds, but they kind of meld in together. Because if it wasn't for the real crazy, scary, like pop art, abstract stuff, I wouldn't be able to refine this stuff, if you can understand what I mean.
Have you finished that first stuff, that first painting of a woman?
No, it's still hanging up in my room. I would consider it a half draft.
Oh, is that the one above your bed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Gabe's place the other day. I was looking at that when I was there.
It's a good painting.
It's massive.
It is. It's probably the biggest one I did at that time period.
Yeah.
But it's just a different thing. I was like completely blackout in that creative process, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it was weird to see it and be like, oh, that's shit. That's what I can do, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's kind of formed, is instead of being, this is what I'm doing, it's kind of been like, what else can I push myself to do?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this collection's turned out to be. It's been more of an experimental push to see how far my skill can go, really.
And that kind of transfers into the rest of your life as well, because I feel like on the whole you're constantly pushing yourself in your life, at least from what I've seen from the couple months that I've known you now.
I would like to think so, man. It's hard not to continue to push yourself when you're surrounded by so many like fucking motivational people, you know, like everyone's doing something, and I feel it just keeps me intrigued to do more. And like, I know this is sucky, but money is a big thing in life, and I want to be able to do my craft as a full-time job. So if I don't continually work all the time, I won't be able to do that. So it's kind of just one thing. I just have to get up in the morning and kick myself in the ass when I don't want to. But today we're feeling that. I'm fucking tired, but it's good, man. We've got Drip T here now, so I'm going to always be motivated from him. Yeah. Should be good.
And you guys can you talk about that kind of project a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. Let's pump up the promotion for that.
Because we're like in the first 10 minutes, so now is the time to do it.
Yeah, cool. So we're doing a collaboration show probably on the first week of April. So I'm hoping on the 1st or the 2nd of April we're going to pull it out. And it's going to be just a massive show between me and him of collaboration paintings as well as solo paintings.
Yeah.
There's not really like the craziest theme towards it. We've just been needing to do this show for a long time, and we want to do it just before I leave. So I think it's kind of going to be a rush job, but me and him paint rushed. We do everything rushed. It's like both a little bit ADD, so it's like we both know how to do the rush stuff with steez. So I think we'll push it together.
Steez.
I think it's true, man. You can go through some stressful situations if you have steez while you're doing it. I think you always pull it off. You know?
How do you define steez?
I don't know, man.
Specifically for my dad, who I know is listening.
Okay, well, in my personal definition of steez, in that scenario, would be like you're breezing through, like you're just taking with the punches, you know what I mean? Like, you're not fucking getting
rolling
overwhelmed, you're not having a fucking meltdown. You're just like, alright, let's do this.
Yeah.
Just keep on going, don't stop. Jump over those fucking hurdles. That's what steez is, man.
Yeah.
And you do it with grace. You know?
Yeah.
That's steez.
I like that. That's a good definition of steez.
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to have a bad definition of steez.
Yeah, it's not like wearing the freshest clothes and nothing like that.
Yo, you got steez, bro.
No.
But no, that's what you've been working towards with Drip T. And you've got, what's that, 2 weeks?
Yeah, well...
2.5?
We've got 2 weeks to do the paintings, or
Yeah.
a week and a half to do the paintings, and then like 2 days to do promotions or whatever, and then I'll forget.
And just crush it.
Yeah, well, why not, man? Like, I feel like if you can do that, you can do anything, right?
Yeah.
If you can pull that off, and you can get at least 50 people in the room,
Yeah.
sell at least 5 or 6 paintings,
Then you're set.
you're good. No matter what you do,
Yeah.
you can do it.
How's that process been like for you getting used to selling your art? Because I know a lot of people go from making to selling, and it's kind of a weird transition.
I don't know. It'd be similar to like trying to monetize the podcast for you boys. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's a grind to get to that point where you have the audience to monetize. If you understand what I mean. Like, I can't just hit up any client and be like, "Yo, can you buy a painting off me right now?"
Yeah.
Kind of, it's weird. I was talking about this with my girlfriend the other day. It goes in waves. It's like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And when it does come, it just comes with like 4 or 5 paintings getting sold at once, or like 2 or 3 commissions at once. It's never like always consistent. So keeping that in mind, it's difficult, but it's also a wild ride that you can't not love. You know what I mean? Like, some days you'll be eating off like 50 cents. It's like, but it's like $50 for a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you could be living off $300, sorry. So yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. Selling paintings as well, it's really not up to you. If you can be a good salesman and make it like there for people, that's probably the only way you'll sell paintings. But if you just leave it, no one wants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't build that hype. But
Yeah.
I don't really like doing that no more. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Other people are building that hype for you now, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's a way to say it, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting because the last painter that we had on the podcast was Micah, and their way of selling art is so different to your way of selling art, because they're very like gallery focused, like doing a show every like 3-4 weeks. Like, that's how they make their living. Whereas I feel like you're a lot more word of mouth. Like, people know of you and about your art, and then they go, all right, well, now I'm going to buy one of their pieces.
The way to explain me, man, compared to like other artists, I guess, like Micah, would be I've grown in like the weirdest and like, I guess, dodgiest way. I've been like that street artist, underground artist for a long time now, and I've built my way up to try get into the gallery. So you could basically say I'm like the underground artist trying to be a gallery artist.
Yeah.
And those dudes are just, they've always strived to be a gallery artist, you know what I mean? So they've started from the bottom, understanding all of the logistics of it.
Yeah.
The techniques, the science behind it all. Where like I'm only really now understanding all that kind of stuff, where before I was like, I'm just going to paint for the reason of painting. And that's what underground is. Like, we just paint wherever we need to paint. We put on as many shows as we need to do. We put it on wherever we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, galleries, different states.
But that's what sets your art apart so clearly from other people's, because you put your stuff up and it looks like you've taken street art and put it in a gallery.
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact same thing, and not to like be the most pretentious white guy that only knows one artist, but it's exactly what Banksy did in the early 2000s, right?
No, that's
like
so fair.
He took that street art career and then put it in galleries and made millions of dollars.
Yeah. What I love to think about with Banksy is like, he made common people understand art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
is that something that you want to achieve as well in your career?
100%. Like, I want common folk like me to walk into a gallery and understand it. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a bit out there, they'll still be like, oh shit, I can kind of get it, or it looks cool to me, instead of looking at like 4 dots that make no sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them, they don't understand what that is. Like, you have to understand art history and all that kind of stuff to enjoy that kind of abstract work. But if you can get the common folk to enjoy art, man, like, you're not only just helping them be happy, you're helping them live a whole new life of joy, colours, and community too. Like, the art community is always going to be there. It's always sick. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Were
I think
you
it's important.
exposed to a lot of art growing up? Is that something that influenced you?
I don't know, dude. It was an interesting ride when I was growing up, because I was in a different world. Do you know what I mean? Like, my friends weren't looking at abstract art or like fine art and being like, this is sick. They'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why is that dude got a small willy? You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't really get introduced to that stuff. I always really loved it. My dad, he had his wedding. My mum and dad had their wedding in Rome, and that was my first kind of introduction to like architecture and like the paintings on architecture and like all that kind of the
How old were
sculptures
you
and
then
stuff.
when that happened?
I think it might have been like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
No, I would have been like 4 maybe. 4. But yeah, that was my first little dip into that understanding of art, like the fine art history kind of stuff. And I really loved that. That's when I fell in love. So for me, when I come back to Australia, it was no one knew that kind of stuff. No one was talking about that kind of stuff. So I never really talked about it. That's where street art came in. I was doing more graffiti. I was talking to my friends about graffiti. But yeah, no one I knew understands any of this still to this day. Like I go back home and they don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they'll support.
Yeah.
But
by come back to Australia, do you mean you were in Rome for a while, or?
No. Just like in general, you know, like
right.
You come back home and you got all these ideas, and like my dad lived in Thailand as well, so going back and forth, just learning different things, coming back and having a different mindset to your kids at school who are just keen on getting fucked up. And
it sounds like a really, just from what I've gleaned from that like 30 seconds, it sounds like a really interesting upbringing.
Yeah, you can say interesting.
That was yeah?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was 100% interesting. It was more of a better word. It's chaotic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say chaotic.
Yeah.
And like constantly adapting. So I think that's where that, like the breeziness comes in for me.
Yeah.
I'm always adapted to like crazy new situations. So it was good, man. It was good. I learned a lot as a young kid. So I think I get to chill out now. I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's come through in your creativity now? Your upbringing, I mean?
100%, dude. Like, you can see it, I think, as well. Like, the inspiration I draw from my art is massively taken from that period of my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing any crazy stuff at the moment. I'm really, like, an old man right now. Like, proper. So, just reflecting on everything from the past and understanding it and putting it into work. It's a lot crazy because you don't actually realize you're putting all into the work until you've sat back and be like, oh shit, like, I went too deep here.
Do you think that like that sort of chaotic upbringing could have been what led you to like the abstract sort of style?
100%. I don't think I could do it any other way. Like even if I was a manager or like a singer of a band or in a football, I don't know, being a footballer or something, I honestly feel like no matter what it would be an interesting style or it would be like an interesting way of doing it. Just because of the upbringing and being that odd swan and always having to find the way to like still do your thing but adapt to other people and kind of fit in as such. So
yeah,
100%. Good questions, dude. Yeah. Like you guys have got me fucking going crazy.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. Now we can totally breeze past this if you don't want to talk about it. But do you have anything from your upbringing that you like want to talk about or bring up, or any stories that you want to share?
What kind of stuff do you want to hear?
Just anything. Anything that you feel has impacted you in a way creatively, I guess.
Impacted me. Yes, I do have this crazy story actually. So I used to be this little rat bag in school, and I got kicked out of a few schools, and I ended up in Arathusa, which is like this flexi school. It was kind of like the first of its kind. There was two at the time. There was one in Deception Bay, and there was one in Spring Hill, Fortitude Valley, which I went to. And when we rocked up there, it was kind of like a skate school that had music class. It didn't have any music class, but it had a skate school downstairs with like a little homemade skate park and shit. And it was literally just for like juvenile kids. Yeah. Like you're either out of prison or you're on your way to prison if you're at that school kind of thing. And it wasn't meant to be like that, but it's just how it ended up. Yeah. Word gets out there's some school that is like this, all the drop kicks are going to come. So I ended up at this school, and I kind of just thought, like, this is where I'm going to end up. Like, whatever, I'm not really going to do too much. I'll just end up being like everyone else on the block or become a salesman or whatever, you know. So I rocked up at this school, and I met this dude called Dan. Dan Powell, no, I forget his last name, but he was a real nice dude. Big, tall, lanky guy with, like, the curliest hair, big hippie looking dude. Fucking great guy. But he introduced me to everything music and like creative output, you know what I mean? Like he was a drawer, he like had a folk band, and it was like from that moment I think it was like a pivotal understanding of like you can live like that, or you can live like this but look like that, or you can have many ways of living your life, you know. You don't have to just follow whatever fuck's going on. And the way he like dealt with other people, like he was talking to Eshays all day, like getting the absolute shit ripped out of him. and like he smoked a bit of weed. I probably shouldn't say this, but he smoked a bit of weed.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And one day we saw like a something just fall out of his back pocket, and from that day, me and him were always very close. Like we hung out after school for like a long time. That dude's great.
Just hanging out in the car park.
Yeah,
You know how it is.
Allegedly.
But yeah, that was a good time, and I think from that moment on, I think I learned a lot about respect for people and music and art and that kind of thing. That was a pivotal moment in my childhood. Crazy fucking times.
Yeah. So that's the moment that you can kind of track back and be like, all right, that's when I realized that I could do something else with my life.
100%. And I went to Scotland for a little bit, which was...
To live or to...
Yeah, I moved back with my dad because it was like some shit going on, so I boosted
So he's
off.
now no longer in Thailand. He's in
England now, so he's boosted back to civilization after being in the jungle for like a decade, which is pretty crazy, man.
Wow.
He's struggling with the culture shock. Like, it's opposite culture shock.
Can you talk about that more?
Yeah.
Why was he in the jungle?
Oh, just...
What was...
He just was...
Like
over society.
full on bush bashing jungle? Or?
Yeah, proper, man. Like, he could only ride like a moped. Like, you couldn't drive a car up there. You could only ride a motorbike up the top.
Right.
It's like
Whoa.
the hills are like proper.
Yeah.
And he lives in like a little bungalow, and there's like a little community that lives like, in the like proper jungle.
Right.
But it's like next to a town. It's on like a little island,
Yeah.
so it's not like butt fuck nowhere. But it's kind of like civilized, but
Right.
enough to be.
So he lived there
Very-
for 10 years.
Yeah, on 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
He got married there and all sorts.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And then
To a
moved
Canadian.
back
and then-
to England.
And then moved back to England just recently, yeah, because he got offered a jib.
A jib.
The jib.
One of those classic
One of them
jibs.
things.
Yeah, one of those classic 9-5 jibs.
Yeah, so sorry, I cut you off. You went back.
Yeah, I went back to Scotland in 2014, and then I started like my dad. I was with my dad, and he is one of those people who, if you start something, like if you say like I want to do this, he won't let you stop, like at all. Like he just will not let you stop, and it's every day. He's like, you need to be doing that. Like if you're not doing that. So one day I was like, I'm gonna play guitar, man. Can I pinch your guitar? And he's like, yeah, but if you do, like, you don't stop. And ever since that, it was like, he just made me like every night play guitar. And then I went and showed my school, and they were like, yo, this is sick. Went and done music class over there, and it kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. Came back over here, ended up going to MIC, which started a little bit of a music career, and then turned into like a painting career, and now we're here.
So how did
Yeah, how
that
did that
transition happen then?
I don't know, man. That transition annoys me because if I put enough effort into music, I think I would be in the same area as I would be now. But I don't know, man. I think one day I was just at school and my art teacher was like, yo, this is stupidly okay.
The critique that all artists want to hear.
Yeah. So, I don't know why, but delusionally me turned around and was like, all right, I'll keep going. And I finished school, and I don't know why, I just did not stop. And now we're here. I just
Didn't stop.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I don't actually. I don't think I thought about it too much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about more being like a rock star
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
But now I couldn't imagine anything worse.
Than being a rock star. You can be a rock star painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it went. I think I've turned into that a little bit, but I wouldn't say rock star. I'm not like a
What would you say?
pop star.
Pop star? You're the Ariana Grande of the art world.
Nah,
The Ed
I don't
Sheeran
know,
of
man.
pop art.
the blues singer of art.
I like that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
Blues singer of art.
Yeah.
Soul man.
Hey. So you'd have a pretty good understanding of music, and being in the space a lot. I can always hear when you're up here. There's music playing.
Yeah.
Does that have a big effect on what and how you create?
Yeah, massively. It's actually super weird. If I'm painting one of these dudes, like the crazy to find abstract figures,
Yeah.
if I'm painting that, I can only listen to like classical jazz or like what's the other one? Like a soul. It's like soul something.
Right.
I don't know what the other genre is, but it's like really like nice melodic music. And then when I'm painting like shit like this, it needs to be like Talking Heads or Common People or something like that. which is just like really upbeat and
A little bit more
punky.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely affects how I paint.
Mm.
But then sometimes I get a headache, so I'm like, no,
No
calm
music.
down. Yeah.
Cut the music. What do you paint when there's no music?
I usually just stare when there's no music.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I'm weird. No, more likely just really fine lines or something like that. You know what I mean? Like if I'm focusing in and can't get distracted and bob my head or something.
Yeah.
So, or if it's like early in the morning and I'm just like waking up, I'll just ease into it.
Joe doesn't get this, but I've talked about this quite a bit. That I have this thing where I can't do any work unless there's something playing or something going. Whatever that is. Like when I'm working, I have at home I have a 2 monitor. I had a 3 monitor setup. I have a 2 monitor setup now, and I always have my work on my main monitor, and then I'll have a video playing on my right monitor, and it's like split into 2 screens. So it's like a video and then like something else, like the news or something. So like, and Joe does not understand that. Joe's like a silence. Gotta have the quiet time.
Quiet. Only one thing in front of me. And then I can focus on that. Yeah.
But I feel like
I'm like that now.
You're like that or that?
I used to be like you, man. I used to have like back in my old studio at home. I used to have like my TV on with like it was on like halfway, so I could just hear it. Then I'd have like music going, and then there'd be like fucking sirens going like crazy outside, and I loved it. I was like, yes, sick. But nowadays I'm like, nah, I need one song, like one like music or a movie or nothing. I can't do it all, you know what I mean? It's too much. It clouds my brain, I think. I just get irritated. I'm an old man now.
Getting old.
Yeah.
Almost 70.
Literally feels like it. My back's like giving out and shit. It's fucking killing me.
After we set up for the live show, the day after, I was like, oh, my back hurts. That's when I knew I was getting old. I was also saying before, when I went to pick up, I don't know if you were there for this, but I went to pick up like t-shirts from behind the stage, and I like crouched down on my knees, and for a split second at the bottom, I was like, I'm not coming back up. Like this is it. I'm stuck here.
Yeah, I froze up in the shower like a few months back.
Oh no. Yeah, that's real rough.
It's not good. It's not fun.
No.
You should be doing that at 22, sorry.
Yeah. 20, 27. Just say several different ages and make everyone
25,
confused.
26.
34.
Let's play some bingo.
Put it in the comments. How old do you think Gabe is? I'm going to pivot slightly because we were talking the other day about personas in art and taking on like roles, I guess. And you've taken on this role over the past, 5 years of your art career? Is it?
Shit, it's been 5 years.
Has it?
I started in 2018, 2019.
So 4.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
But you took on this role of Numpty, which was this kind of... It started, from what I understand, it started as a joke. And then...
Literally.
And then has kind of grown into not a joke anymore.
Yeah, but no one wants to take it as a joke. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like...
So what was it? Why did you name yourself Numpty initially then? What was that? Because you were like, haha, funny? Yeah,
a little bit. I was like, haha, funny, as well as like, I can get away with more. Do you know what I mean? Like, art's pretty... When I was starting my art, it was pretty out there. I don't know. The things I was saying in my art was a lot more than what it should have been, in my opinion. So, for me, I think the Numpty kind of kept it as like a softer blow. Because if you fucking hated Numpty, you didn't hate Gabriel Denholm. But you kind of, if you knew who Numpty was personally, you would. But it was just a social media thing. It wouldn't really fucking matter. So for me, it was like a haha, give this little character as much shit as you need. It doesn't bother me. And I can be as cheeky as I want and do what I need to do at shows because I'm this Numpty character and everyone's just going to be like, oh, it's just Numpty. And everyone did. Like, I would be extravagant at shows and wear crazy, stupid shit. And everyone was like, yo, that's just Numpty. Like, that's how I kind of made that thing. So, yeah, I played it a little bit. But now it's like, it's lame because everyone doesn't want to take a joke. So, I'll move on.
Yeah. And what's that trend? Have you planned out that transition? Like, what's that look like for you?
100%, dude. Just sit in front of it.
I know, that's why I asked.
Going away to Europe, as well as like this whole new style, as well as like just getting older, man. Like, I was super young when I first came into this scene or world or whatever, like 18, 19, And like going through my 20s, not really understanding too much, but being told so much. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot to intake.
Yeah.
And like business wise as well, it's a lot to keep yourself afloat. And like you learn so much about money and so much about budgeting, and you understand when you're like real low and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. The change would definitely be just maturing, and then you can see it through my art as well as my presence. I feel. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need to be said anywhere else because it's pretty self-explanatory, you know?
Yeah, well, I never really, like, neither of us met you as Numpty.
Yeah.
And we've never seen you as that Numpty character. So, I think it's...
You would have loved it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good fun when it happened, like...
Yeah.
It was the party people, you know? Like, it was a good time.
Yeah. And that would have fit real well into the Brisbane art scene.
100%, yeah.
Was that an intentional decision, kind of playing into that?
Yeah, dude. Everything I did was intentional. Everything I've done to this point is kind of been like a planned out scenario, you know what I mean? Like getting involved with Bad Olive, that was very much planned. Didn't plan how it would end, but planned how it got in. And same with this kind of stuff, like AV, planned every moment from start of AV to here, and now I've got the biggest room and getting helped out, you know what I mean? So that shit's important for me, keeping that community, keeping every step planned, because I've seen so many people go down the wrong hole or like take the wrong steps because they've not planned it just that little bit. But everyone who I see planning it, like they know their goal, they see their vision and shit. They're always killing it and crushing every moment. So just lead by example for them, you know. For the next people, they can look at me if they want, but it's up to them. I really don't care.
No, sorry, no, you go.
It sounds like there's a lot of this like change happening where you're wanting to move out of that Numpty name and then like you're moving into more abstract stuff. Was there anything you reckon that like triggered that first, or like what do you reckon has happened first? Because it sounds like there's 3 or 4 different things that are changing. Yeah. But
like real fucking sad and kind of a downer of a fucking answer, but depression, dude. Yeah. Depression's like one of the shittiest things that you could go through, and I think when you get past that point of like complete loneliness as well as like being as down as you fucking can, you never want to live like that again. So I think if I'm changing everything at the moment, it's probably because I'm changing everything for the better, you know? I've sat and calculated everything that was fucking me up internally as well as externally, and I'm getting the fuck rid of it, you know? And I think that's, at the end of the day, it's the most like sad, not media trained answer at all, but it's facts, man. It's just depression. When you get away from that shit, you do not want to go back, and if you do, it's because you're not finished with it, you know what I mean? You're not in remission yet, but it's good, man. I'm happy to change everything that needs to be changed. I live for a better, healthier life.
Do you think a part of that was that you kept performing as this Numpty character and you didn't feel like people saw you for you anymore?
100%, dude. No one cared. I know that's like fucked up to say. I know I've got friends out there that will like give me shit, but honestly, no one gave a fuck. Like I had a friend who encouraged all the bad behavior, you know what I mean? Like drugs, partying, constantly drinking, constantly doing that kind of stuff. So that had to be cut out. That kind of whole community to be cut out. And the same thing, I don't know, like when you're in that spot, you do feel super lonely, but no one really can understand, especially when you've put this persona of everyone should know you as this. And then you like come home and you're like completely not that. You're just like this frail fucking being that's now scat off his cunt, tripping and seeing shadows, you know what I mean? So for me, that was just like, no one actually gave a fuck. Everyone just thought I was doing good, and probably still were, you know? Like, if they see this, they probably won't, but I never really let it go, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It is the weirdest thing to be like, that dude almost killed me, but like he saved me at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like one of those like 50-50 moments for me. But it was a mad learning experience, dude. Yeah. And I'd do a character again, I think. Yeah. I would. But it would be quite obvious it was a character, you know what I mean?
Like a Sacha Baron Cohen type deal.
100%.
Where the people that are involved. I think it would be really interesting to see you try to take on a very intentional gallery bait character.
It's kind of what this is. So Gabriel James Paul Denholm is my full name. That's kind of what I'm going by now.
Mm.
And I'm doing everything in my power to get into those spots.
Yeah.
The work's changed for it. Well, not changed, man. I've just adapted and moved on. Kind of done that change for the work, I guess.
Yeah.
And now it's just changed the personality. Like, my personality is pretty gallery worthy. You know, I'm not a little rat bag anymore. I'm kind of a bit more mature. I would say I was like a 40-year-old in a 22-year-old's body, you know what I mean? So I can talk to those gallery types and whatnot. So
mellowed out a bit.
Yeah, 100%. So I think it's just natural growth. I'm no longer in the underground anymore, so it's just the next step, innit?
Yeah. No, I think that's really interesting that you've taken that step. And I know when Joe and I came here for the first time and we met you for the first time, I don't remember what our first interaction was, but I remember...
I do. I was sitting outside.
Do ya?
Yeah, I was sitting outside having a cigarette. Big man came up with the mustache, and I was like, who the fuck's this? And you were like, hey man, like, you seen Julian? I was like, yeah, it's just in his office. Showed you in your office, and then you were like, thanks, bro. And then Julian comes out 2 seconds later, he's like, man, someone's moving in my office. And I was like, oh shit, no worries. Who's this? And he's like, Frunk. And I just thought it was the name. My guy, I'm so sorry. I thought it was a fucking inside joke this whole time. But that was the day I met you.
Interesting. I do not remember that at all. I would have said it was the time after that. I think it was when I was moving my desk in, you were here.
Was that when I found the skateboard? And I was like,
yeah.
That would have been like...
zooming around.
I might have been mixing up that, by the way. No. That might have been the day.
That's cool. But doesn't matter. Point I was getting at was, I remember after our first proper conversation and I went away just being so intrigued by you as a person and like looking through your Instagram and being like, what does this guy do? Like, and
why? Why?
I don't know. You just had, you had and you have this aura about you that's like...
It's intriguing.
It's so inquisitive. And I think it's simultaneously like you're so confident in your ability in a very real sense. Like you're aware of what you can do and you're aware of who you are and what you can create. And at the same time, you're incredibly intelligent. And I think that creates this kind of bubble around you that makes people want to learn more about you and be invested in your story.
It's fucking beautiful. Thank you. It's really weird, man. Like, I don't know. For a long time, people haven't been saying shit like that. So for now, it still trips me out a little bit. But I appreciate that. It's nice.
No, it's true. It's true. And I think it'll come through in the podcast as well. I hope, and from the conversations we've had, I'm pretty sure it will. Yeah. But yeah, there's just this. I feel like, and I feel like we've talked to enough artists and people now, and this is not to discount any of them in any way. But there's always, I feel like we're always scratching this upper level. And there's always that top layer of like, I'm working on this. This is who I am. I've got this show coming up. Plug. Maybe 1 or 2 interesting stories about their life. And that's and even outside of the show, like that's kind of the extent of our interactions with them and what we learn about them. And that's as much as they want to give out publicly and even privately. But I think you're so comfortable in yourself that you're okay. And it comes through in your art and in the way that you talk. You're comfortable giving away these pieces of yourself and these parts of who you are and how you create and how you got to be this person. And I think that's really interesting to see and experience. And I've seen it in your art over the past, 4 months now that I've known you. Even in those 4 months, like your art has evolved in such a way that I feel like that comes through even more. And I think that really resonates with people.
That's crazy. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Well, I guess I can turn it into a question. Are you intentional about that? Are you A, aware of that aura that you have, and B, are you intentional about how you interact with people and speak to them?
100% for the latter question. My intentions for everyone that I speak to is pretty much like exactly how I want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, not a lot of people were the nicest around. School, teachers, whatever the case may be. Like everyone was just fucking mean for no reason. Obviously because they're life, because they're miserable, whatever. But when I'm having like a real shitty day and I see someone who needs a hand and like helping that out, or like thinking about helping that person out, fuck, it makes me feel better. So for me, that's like always something that I do. Always constantly thinking about how I make people feel. I think anyone should do that. You know what I mean? Like, stops you from being a dick.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, and if I am, like, I'm mad happy to accept that I'm being a little bit of a bum. You know what I mean? I think that's important. But the first question, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a real hard one. I don't know. The aura thing, I definitely have been told about it, but I don't know. When you come from such, I've really been in like a really low place mentally for like a long time now. So coming out of that, and then feeling like people understand what I'm trying to fucking say for a long time, and like understand my vibe and understand that I'm just fucking me. I think that itself is like the aura, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be anymore. Like I'm not trying to fit in with anyone, and if I don't like what you're doing, I just won't bother. And I think that, I guess, is the intriguing part, the mysterious part, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if mysterious is the right word.
No, I don't think so either.
It's definitely intrigue. I think you could, if you really wanted to, you could go into this mysterious persona, and I think people could get that idea, having met you once, that you're this mysterious character.
Yeah.
But the second they talk to you, like, it's over.
Yeah.
For sure. No,
You're definitely not Batman, you know?
No, I like that. I like that.
In your little corner in the warehouse.
But yeah, the aura thing, I don't know, dude. I think I've done a lot of fucking soul searching. I know it's super lame. I've done my traveling. I've done I've went and talked to people about this shit, and I've done the meditations. I've done the crystals. I've done the walkabouts kind of stuff. So.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit? What that was like? What that experience was?
The walkabout
Because it's so
was
different
insane.
for everyone. That's why I asked.
Yeah, well, my dad, when he first came to Australia, before I was born, he travelled around and like helped. He like went to Aboriginal communities, right, and they like taught him everything. They taught him how to speak to the dreamland. They taught him about the dreamland. Taught him about how the Aboriginals live and that kind of thing. And he's always told me, man, he's always been like, you need to do a walkabout. Like, you just need to. As a man, like, that's just how a man becomes a man. In Scotland, in like Scottish heritage, you have the Highlanders who, they go crazy fucking journeys and go hunting and stuff when they're a certain age.
Yeah.
So it's like in my fucking blood to do that. So for me, when I was like 18, I think, just graduated high school, there was a blues festival going on, and I was like, fuck it. Like, this is something I could do. So I went and volunteered to do like I set up the whole kind of festival and volunteered for, I think it was like 2 weeks. And then there was a 2-week interval that I didn't realise was going on before the festival. I kind of thought it was just like, you work, go to the festival. So I kind of got forced into this like walkabout situation. So I was in New South Wales, and I just went and done Mullumbimby, like Berwick Heads, just travelling from up back and forth consistently, just finding new places to hang out. Going couch surfing, sleeping on bridges, finding homeless people. And while I was in Mullumbimby, there was this homeless dude. I forget his name, man, but he looked like a rugrat, man. It was fucking crazy. And we went and had a sesh under a bridge, and he kind of told me like what the crystals were and like underneath the earth and shit. It sounds so trippy and like cracked out, but I found out in the later few days that shit was very much true. And yeah, it was just insane, man. Like learning all of that kind of stuff, getting pushed into different scenarios, kind of just letting your feet take you where they're gonna go. You know, it helped so much. It helped so much understanding me to understand human beings. You know what I mean? Like how to be a human. Yeah. How to have humanity, if that's the right word. But yeah, I think that stuff's really important. For me, it was really important. And I think you need to do it a few times every few years, you know. Yeah. To get that refresh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really interesting to hear you talk about things like that, because there's that whole saying of like, you know, what is it? People oh shit, what is it? Can talk the talk but can't
Can't
walk the walk. Is that it?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
talk the talk, but but you don't talk the talk. You just walk the walk.
Yeah.
You just do stuff. Like you don't. I've never once heard you go, I'm going to do this thing. It's always just, hey, I've done this thing, and you can see it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's a mix of both. I think I talk enough shit that I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely one of those
Yeah.
people.
That's how I started vlogging.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think we had this conversation when you came over the other day. It was like, you say so much, or you don't say so much, but you say enough things, and you say it to enough people who are in that industry or like would want to see something like that, and you're like, oh shit, I need to actually do this now. So that's kind of another thing. That's what me and Drip, we've been talking about this for fucking ages, but now it's like just straight up fucking hit and run, you know?
Yeah.
So I like it myself, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely, it's a mix of both, I would say.
Mm.
But yeah, you are right though. I just do some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the fun bit as well. I like to do that, like dropping T-shirts and like merch packets and stuff. Like you don't really need too much hype for that stuff. Just drop it. People, if they like it, if they fuck with it, they'll take it.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been doing pretty well. So
Mm.
just keep doing that, and it keeps it exclusive. You know.
Yeah.
That's like the real people will get it. The ones who are like always supporting, those are the people who will get it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get some like annoying kid who's just there for likes or whatever
Yeah.
to be wearing my shirt, you know.
Yeah. Do you look at it in an entrepreneurial sense as well?
Yeah, 100%. It's a business at the end of the day, you know. Like I've never really done business classes or whatever, but I've sat in a few, and yeah, I think you got to do this stuff as an entrepreneur, you know. You got to look at it like that. It is a business, and if you don't, it's just gonna go downhill. Like you'll never be able to profit off your business if you don't do it like that, you know.
Yeah.
If I was just painting for the fucking sake of it, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, oh, sick, like whatever, like got a show going on, oh, sweet, like I'll be fine, you know. But no, I want to make sure it's the best of the best every time, and we go up a step every time.
Yeah.
And I'm a registered business now, so I kind of have to.
Don't have a choice anymore.
No.
You're
Yeah.
screwed.
The bank account won't let me.
Yeah. I realized today that my business registry is run out. My personal business registry. So
Sure.
I gotta fix that.
Yeah. Is that expensive to get back? No.
That's like $60 or something.
Yeah, it's not too
It's
bad.
just like expired, so I just have to renew it.
Yeah.
I feel like you had a question before the show
Yeah.
that you wanted to ask, didn't you?
Oh, I have another question now.
Oh.
You're talking about like, so you've done these walkabout trips, right? Which have like no plan at all. It's just you end up where you end up. But then the way you talk about business and like and painting and doing these shows, it sounds like you always have
structure.
this plan in place. So yeah, I don't know what I just don't understand that. How
Well,
does
it's
that
like,
work in your head, I guess?
say for example, to put it in the best way. Sometimes I like iced coffee, and sometimes I like hot coffee.
Yeah, okay.
That is a fantastic way to
That's
explain
a really
that.
good way.
So like for me, if it makes me money, it needs to be structured and planned, and it needs to be doing well, and it needs to be able to represent me in a way that I could go into any room in the world with big businessmen. I could tell them a business plan or give them an elevator pitch, and they'll invest in me. But I'm not trying to get them to invest in my journey to get to that point. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to get their money in my pocket so I can go on a walkabout. I want those experiences to be for me, and they're not really for anyone else. And if you do that with anyone else, it doesn't really end up being that freeing. So for me, I think when it comes to the adventures and soul searching or whatever, that should never be structured, because if you structure that, you'll fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like I've tried to structure it before, and it never works. It never works out how you plan it. And I think it's great to be able to roll with the punches, and it's super nice to learn that in an environment that it's welcome instead of an environment that it's not welcome.
Yeah.
Because if you do that in a business structure, it'll flop, as well as you'll be looked at as like someone who can't actually do that, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you do that when you're chilling, doing whatever you're doing, I think it's a right time, right place, you know. Hot day, cold day. I think that's a good analogy, man.
That was
That's
a really
awesome.
good analogy,
Yeah.
actually.
That was a good question, though. That was a really good question. I really like that question.
Look at you go. Proud of you, Joe. You're a good egg.
Yeah.
Now, we're kind of coming towards the end. We've got like 10 minutes left. I I have a question for you that I know you want to be asked.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to be asked it.
Tell me.
Oh, I'm excited.
Ask me so.
How do you clean your implements?
Like my brushes and stuff?
Yeah.
Drip T's been doing it since he's been here. I don't care too much, man. Most of the time I'm using my hands or some shit anyway, so it doesn't bother me at all. I've got like a $3 big ass brush from Bunnings that's lasted me like almost a year, and then I just got given some like nice ass oil paint brushes from my neighbor, and he was like, you need to clean these like proper, you know, like you have to do the oils and you have to blah blah blah. I was like,
nah,
prob's not gonna do that. Like, they're definitely gonna be fucked up in like a few months. I'm sorry. And he's like,
it sounds like you treat painting equipment like I treat my camera gear.
100%, dude. It's not your equipment. It's the artist.
Yeah, get wrecked,
Lame.
loser. Imagine
Lame.
taking care of your stuff.
Well, you do have to take care of him.
Yeah.
Drip, he's like an amazing artist, and he loves his gear and makes sure everything's
Yeah.
spick and span. But
Yeah.
I'm just not that human being.
Yeah.
When
I
it
don't know
comes
if
to the
you.
creative
I don't know if
process.
you subscribe to this, but this is how I've always explained it. Is that, and this is specifically for camera gear, obviously. But I've always said that the gear that I use to create my stuff is just a tool. Like I wouldn't treat a hammer. I wouldn't be careful with a hammer or a drill or a saw. So why would I be careful with the tool that I make my art with?
It's different with cameras, though. Isn't it? They're fucking expensive.
Yeah, but like I'm obviously not going to peg my camera
No, yeah, I get it.
or throw
I
it.
think one of the first time, I think it was like the third time I met you, man. And you were saying you made me ollie over your camera.
Yeah.
So like, pegging is one thing. But no, yeah, you're
good
right.
footage though.
Yeah, you're right. I think, it is a tool, man. I think it's different with brushes, man. Brushes cost like, they're expensive if you go to the art shops, but if you go
Yeah.
to Bunnings, they're cheap as shit. And to be honest, if you just keep them in water, they're good.
Yeah.
Just wash them every few days.
Yeah,
and
if you keep
fine.
cameras in water, it's usually not great.
Yeah, there you go. But
Learned that the hard way.
yeah, man, cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't clean. I've just cleaned my studio for the first time in probably about 6 months. Have we been here for 6 months? Yeah.
Yeah.
Since the moment we moved in, I've just cleaned it like 2 days ago, and then I paint, and then Drip came,
And that's
and
it.
it's back to
That's
where it
over.
was.
But this is a nice little corner. This looks
Yeah, I was saying
this
that.
looks well put
I
together.
was saying that to Joe before, man. It's like the perfect little conference
Yeah.
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, put a conference table up here.
Yeah.
Have some business meetings. I do love the random cans of spray paint that are just like
Yeah.
lying around.
Yeah, and we have like a little stage as well, so if there's any like special guests, they can
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
there.
They can just stand right there. Get Riley to do some dance moves
Yeah.
for us.
You know he would.
Well, we tried to get him to dance for us at the live show, but he didn't show up on time.
Oh.
He said he didn't
Yeah,
want
true.
to. It was a
Shocker.
bit rude, hey.
That was sad.
All right. Well, we're kind of coming towards the end here. Joe, do you want to ask your generic
question?
end question?
Sure. Was there anything in the show that we haven't mentioned, or something, or a story like you wish you could have told, or a question you wish we had asked, or a topic you wish we talked about?
It can be literally anything. We can talk about 2B pencils.
Just thinking about that.
No.
Mm.
No, boys, I'll keep the peace. Keep the peace. I'll leave it.
No, yeah, I feel like you just came up with something.
Yeah.
I did, but it's way too cheeky. I'm not
Nah,
gonna
do it.
Nah, yeah.
Do it. Nah, you've said
That's
it
what we're
now.
here
Pull myself
Nah,
into it.
you've done it now. You got to ask it. Go on. Come on. I want to hear it.
Uh-oh.
Why don't other artists keep the entrepreneurial vibe alive? And why do other artists kind of frown upon making a certain... I don't know how to put it without being like condescending. Let's put it in the most simplest way. Why do artists frown on other artists for trying to make money?
Yeah. Boom. Mic drop.
No, but for real, I think...
Do you want us to answer first, and then do you want?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a
Yeah.
real cool question, because I think a lot of artists, that there's back and forth in the community, but the ones who are doing well always get kind of not shat on, but
Yeah.
frowned upon with the people who are in the creative community,
Yeah.
not the viewers.
Well, do you want to give your thoughts? I'll give mine, and then we'll give Gabe the final say.
Oh man,
Unless you've got nothing, in which case I can go.
you go first.
Okay. I myself was raised by entrepreneurs, so my immediate is how can I monetize and how can I make this a career. But on the total flip side of that, like, I think that if you go into art and you go into creating exclusively trying to make money, you're never going to make money because people can smell that a mile away. So I think there's this like fine line that you need to walk where you need to be aware that what you're doing needs to make money at some point for it to be viable, but it shouldn't be the motivation from day dot. To answer the question that you asked of why some artists frown upon that, I think it's because a lot of artists just cannot fathom actually feeling comfortable selling their art. And I think it's, to me, I see it as a form of imposter syndrome coming from them.
Makes sense.
So it's kind of like, I don't feel good enough to ever sell my... It could be fantastic art, but I don't feel good enough to sell my art. Therefore, no one else should be selling and making money off of their art. That's kind of the way that I interpret it. So I think it's always been a them problem rather than a like, you shouldn't be selling your art type thing.
I think the same. I think it's like definitely internal. Did you have anything?
Yeah, well, like my personal experience is like I can't create something consistently if I don't love it. Yeah. And so I think that's where some artists choose not to look at, well, I'm not an artist, so I can't speak for other people, but
I would call you an artist.
Yeah, I would call you an artist too.
I don't mean this sort of art.
Yeah, but I
Visual.
don't do visual art either.
But it's like a creative though,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
same.
Well, like some people, and now I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Choo-choo.
Oopsie.
Choo-choo.
Train of thought.
Yeah, so some people who look at like trying to make money for it, that's when you start to get into your own head about like, will other people actually like enjoy this product? Because I guess then it becomes a product and not a piece of art or like a piece of you or something that you've worked really hard on to get to this point, and now you're like, are people actually going to like it? And you can get to that point of like, I don't actually want to show people this.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it looked like for me. Yeah, I just think if you go into it with that entrepreneurial mindset in the beginning, it can it can lead to you never actually showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a crazy thing that I got told the other day, and I think it fits perfect with this. I got told, what was it? It was like, a true artist never wants to make money but understands when to make money.
Yeah.
And a false artist understands when to never stop making art. No. True artist but a false artist never stops making money over art. If you know what I mean. So it's like the art.
Do you want to say the whole quote in one go?
Fuck, I forgot it again. A real artist. What was it? Fuck, man. I'm so bad at remembering quotes. A real artist knows when to stop painting and start making money, but a false artist will never stop making money over painting.
There we go. Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. Like, as in, you can have an artist who comes in for the money, and you can pretty much see it's like, you can sniff it out like a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
But then the artist who is fucking proper will make their work until they're ready, and they'll go out into the world and they'll do their thing to make sure that everything is on their work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like flipped for the opposite. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. I think, and I totally agree with that. I think a lot of artists spend a lot of time getting to the point where they feel like they're ready to make money, whereas a lot of people will start making art to make money. And I think that's been, and I wasn't going to bring this up, and I don't want to open a big can of worms here because I know it has the ability to, but I think we've seen that very recently with NFTs and having a lot of these people come in and being like, oh, I can make 1,000 randomly generated things with very little artistic talent, you know, just by making some pre-sourced assets. And I think we've seen that a lot where you can, and that as well, you can sniff a mile away. And I personally see a lot of value in some NFTs, but then there's those other ones that's like, you know, it's clear that this person is just looking for money, you know?
Well, it's saturation, you know what I mean? Like, the same thing as painting. Like, you could see the same painting over and over and over again. Like, there's some artists in Brisbane that do that, and it's like the exact same image over and over and over again. What do you get from that? You don't get... You just saturated everything that... Now I don't want to see that. I want to see something new. Yeah. That's what my opinion on some NFTs are, but if you don't have the saturation, if you fucking do the community kind of stuff... Yeah. That... It's beneficial. But yeah, I think those dudes who just fucking rinse it, it's just like, stop, man. You're ruining it for everyone. It's what it is, man. You're always going to have those people, you know? Yeah. Always.
That was a really good question. That was really good.
Yeah, was that a good one?
That's probably the best answer to that end of show question that we've had.
Yeah, probably.
Last thing is... if you have any advice or anything that you want to share or say to anyone that is just starting visual art or just thinking of starting.
Draw fucking every chance you get. One thing I'm slack at. Understand your art history. Like, go explore and find new artists all the time. And remember that you do not need to be a fragile, broken, fucking destroyed human being to be famous, successful in art or anything like that. Just do you, have fun, enjoy it. It's a journey, but just remember that you don't need to be fucking on drugs and having a ball 24/7. Save your money. That's my advice.
That was really good advice. I feel like that question, the answers have gotten like progressively better as we've gone on. It's been very cool to see. Thank you so much for coming on, Gabe.
Thank you for having me, boys. This has been fucking fun. This is the first time I've been on a podcast that we've just sat and like had some deep chats. So this is interesting. I really appreciate it, man.
Well, that's what you asked for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it is what it is also very intentionally what we're striving towards, I think. But we'll talk about that more another time.
Easy.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at _Numpty __. Or we can do... I think I got Facebook and I just got Twitter as well. It's all the same thing.
I'll follow you on Twitter.
Numpty.
Hell yeah.
Numpty and Co, I think, on Twitter. Actually.
Okay. I'll link them. I'll find them and I'll link them.
Sweet.
All right. Any closing words that you want to share?
Nah, man. Just watch out, Europe.
Watch out, Europe. All right. Well, you get to press the button.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
You were here for that, right? At the live show?
Is it the pink one?
It is the pink one. Yeah. So it's, for anyone who hasn't seen this before, we have a tradition with our guests where on a regular show, Joe and I will say bye, 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 and we'll press the button. With a guest, I say bye, Joe says bye, and then the guest says bye, and they get to press the button. All right.
Man, it's like some Nardwuar shit. Sick.
It's not. What'd you say?
It's like some Nardwuar shit.
Nardwuar. I love Nardwuar. I really want to do some Nardwuar stuff later.
This is like a little, you know how the end is like doot. This is the pink button.
This is the pink button. I want to get a big one. Just a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be sick, right?
That would be great.
All right. I'm going to do the closer and then we'll do bye, bye, bye. But you got to be ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. The pink one or purple one?
Pink one. This one.
No, this one.
Not that one. That one. Unless you want to hear our first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please don't.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Froe Show. That was episode 106 with Gabriel Denholm, A.K.A. Numpty. Go check him out on socials. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we will see you next week. Also, rate the show on Spotify. Bye.
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 Hey.
Nice.
I just yeah? Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Good. You ready for your big meeting now?
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so nervous.